3 habits that guarantee confidence in any situation. Over the next few moments, I'm going to share with you how you can be confident regardless of the circumstance and regardless of the situation. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's do this. What are these 3 steps? The first step is humor. The second step is to be excited. And the third step is your posture. Now, I specialize in many things to do with human behavior and performance. And when you work with world and Olympic champions in sport, I'm sure you can imagine that being confident when you're going out to perform, knowing there are hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of people watching you. And your ability to be confident can really be the difference that makes the difference. But the first thing we really need to look at is what actually is confidence. Well, what does the word mean? Well, it actually comes from the Latin word confidere. What does that mean? I don't know why I did that, by the way, but I don't know. It seems to work. Confidere. It means trust, intense trust, learning to trust yourself. Now, if I was to say to you, what is the purpose of your mind? I know that sounds like a deep question to ask. I don't know what time of day it is when you're watching this, but chances are it's not the sort of question you get asked very often. What is the purpose of your mind? What does your mind do? Well, I've spent the last 30 years working in the field of human behavior and psychology, and I can tell you that one of the things that your mind does, it plays tricks on you. Has your mind ever played a trick on you? Have you ever tried to go to sleep at night and your mind has been working overtime? There's like a voice inside there that's talking to you, making you remember and think things that you did in the day or doing tomorrow. Have you ever been walking down the road and you think that someone's behind you? Have you ever watched a scary movie and then turn it off and all of a sudden you start thinking about what you just watched and the fact that it might happen to you where you are? Your mind plays tricks on you. And if you put yourself in a position where you might feel uncomfortable, it's quite likely that that voice is going to rise up and make you feel not confident, where fear rises. Once you really get to understand that one of the major things that your mind does, it comes up with great ideas, but it also comes up with things that aren't real, that seem real, that make you feel uncomfortable. And I think that the ultimate secret weapon of life is humor. Have you ever laughed at a really inappropriate time? Have you ever found humor in what you're thinking? Because the first step that guarantees confidence in any situation is your ability to use humor in what you're thinking. Just imagine how different your life would be if you didn't take everything you thought so seriously. I did this for years and I thought you had to. I thought you had to take serious everything that was going on in your head like it was real. But they're just thoughts, and thoughts come and thoughts go. If you can start to see in between your thoughts and know there's always a space between your thoughts and your feelings. And if you're able to do this and just see the funny side of what you're thinking, you will be liberated. You will be in a position where you are in the driving seat. So that is the first step. The second step is to be excited. What does that mean? Well, when we're not confident, it's often that we are nervous. We are talking down to ourselves. We're putting ourselves into a space where we're not in a confident place. Now, this, again, it might seem really simple to you, but when we feel nervous and we say to ourselves, I feel nervous, I don't feel confident, we produce feelings which make us feel that way. This is one of the most interesting things I've come across in all of the field of neuroscience, neuropsychology, in the fact that what we think produces feelings in our body, and those feelings then convince us that we had the right thought. When you feel that way, you'll say it, you'll feel it, and it confirms it, and it's no surprise that you end up feeling in a way where you're not putting your best foot forwards. Now, this is such a simple thing to do. It's a very simple thing to not do. The next time you feel nervous, I dare you to say, I'm excited. See, nervousness and excitement are very, very similar. The worst thing you can say to someone who says, I'm just really nervous, is say, well, come on, just relax. That's a real big shift to go from being nervous to being relaxed. But rather than saying I'm nervous, if you said I'm excited, you will produce a very powerful emotional set, a confident state, confident chemicals. That was a bit of a tongue twister. Say that 10 times. Confident chemicals. Confidence chemicals. I am confident. I am excited. When you say that to yourself, you will produce a different set of a chemical cocktail which does put the good foot forwards, the right foot forwards. And talking about putting the right foot forwards, the third step is posture. Does your posture make any difference? I remember reading some research many years ago of people that suffered from depression. Many of them were on medication, and they were on this study where they went out every single day and they were told to look at chimneys. You know, the chimneys on top of many houses. And of course, you don't see many depressed people doing this, looking up. But they weren't told why they were doing it. They were just told to go and see how many they saw. After a few weeks of doing this, it had a massive impact on their physiology, their psychology. Your psychology is massively affected by your physiology. Even smiling starts to produce a different set of chemicals. It's the simple things that make the biggest difference. So when you think of a superhero, whether it's Batman or Wonder Woman, think about how they stand. When you think about Usain Bolt, you know, doing that kind of, that's a power pose. But you don't have to wait until something great happens. You could put yourself in that position and you'll change your physiology. With that in particular study of the guys that were studying from depression, many of them eventually came off the medication because they had changed their psychology. There's an amazing researcher, Amy Cuddy, who does some amazing work and has taught this and shared some of the amazing research of human beings who really start to change their posture. So what's your biggest takeaway from what I've just shared with you? This is common sense, but it's not always common practice. And of course, these are skills. The more you practice them, the better you'll become. For me, this one, using humor, is something that you'll always have to practice. You're never going to stop those negative thoughts, those doubts. They're always going to be there. But humor is a way of pushing that down, putting it to one side. Being excited is far better than being nervous. You've got to practice saying that. And lastly, work on your posture. See what happens, even if you just stand, even for a minute, and just notice, just from changing your posture, what difference that makes. This is 3 habits that guarantee confidence in any situation. I hope you've enjoyed this video today, and stay tuned for more YouTube videos to inspire you to create the life that you want. A great life, it doesn't happen by chance, it happens by design. That is where the magic is. See you next time.